Hi, I'm Charlotte and this is Tired Mama Tries to Read, and I'm coming to you to talk to you about Victober, which I'm taking part in this month, or it's not quite Victober yet, but it will be, and I'm excited to do it. So I've got a very slim selection of books because the clue's in my name. I am tired. I have a child that wakes up at least 3 times a night. I have not slept for more than 4 hours in a row for 2 years and 8 months. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to read at the same pace as some of the other people taking part in this challenge, but I'm still very excited to do it. And I've picked a couple of fairly predictable reads, I'm sorry to say, but a couple of unusual ones. So I'm going to start with one of the unusual ones, and that is Jill by Amy Dillwyn. And if you're on Shawn's channel, you will have seen this already because this is our buddy read. I'm very, very pleased about this read, and also scared because I have seen the way some of his buddy reads have gone, and I'm very pleased that he doesn't pull any punches, and if he doesn't like a book he just says. As this is my first buddy read, I have messaged him to say to be gentle because yeah, I've chosen the book as well, more or less. so I've gone out on a limb a little bit. This is a Welsh writer, Amy Dillwyn. She is famous enough in Wales that there are several pubs and streets named after her, very close to me. So I'm guessing she's Swansea born, although I honestly don't know much about her. Does it say very much about her in the beginning? Yeah, there's a foreword by Kirsty Bahata, who is a lecturer at Swansea University, and I was lucky enough to be taught by Kirsty, and she is super clever and loves amazing books, so I can't imagine this being bad. But this is the story of, as it says, an unconventional heroine, a gentle woman who disguises herself as a maid and runs away to London in search of adventure after her mother dies. But it's on the surface it's a feminist manifesto, but Jill is also a poignant story of same-sex desire and unrequited love. Brilliant. So as far as I know, Amy Dillwyn was gay. I don't know if she was openly gay as much as you could be in those days. Obviously you couldn't be wide openly gay. I don't know if she had a partner or anything like that in her lifetime, but yeah, she certainly has a lot of issues in her books towards gender issues. She talks about cross-dressing a lot, and she talks about very intense female friendships. So after reading Sarah Waters this month, I am really pleased to be reading another bit of lesbian fiction. I love books with women in, so the more women the better. So we'll see how that one goes. We're going to try and do a couple of chapters. No, I think a chapter a day because it's 30 chapters. Perfect. Now, the other one is so predictable, but who doesn't want to read Jane Eyre? Okay, so I have read Jane Eyre, but it must have been a decade ago now. This covers, so Jill covers my title with a pronoun in, but this also covers that too. And it also covers the challenge of reading a book by one of the host's favourite writers, because it's Charlotte Bronte. Now, it's quite a large book. I'd forgotten that it was over 500 pages. I am going to be rereading this with a friend from my work, Katie, who doesn't want to be on video in any way at all, but I'm going to be glad to have someone to talk this through with. You all know the story of Jane Eyre, so I'm not going to go into it, but the film version, because it's also the book to film one that I'm doing it for, I am going to choose the BBC it was a series rather than a film, so I hope that counts, and it's got Ruth Wilson in. And although I can never remember the name of the man who plays Mr. Rochester, he is like the best Mr. Rochester ever. He's usually ginger, but he's dark-haired in this. What is his name? I can't remember. But everything about that adaptation is just perfect. I don't think you can do better than it. I've had many arguments with people at work about this because we've been talking about it when me and Katie decided to read this together, and we all disagree. But that, for me, is I'll try and find it because it's on Netflix at the minute. I'll try and find it and link it below because it's the best. Anyway, I'm going to read also Silas and Marner by George Eliot, and this is part of the author who had a pseudonym, as she was Mary Ann Evans. I have read Daniel Deronda and Middlemarch, and I love them, like massive love for them. I want to read them again, but I'm scared to because I loved them so much the first time. This is obviously teeny weeny in comparison. I don't know why I've not read it. I've actually got a slightly uglier version on my shelf, but Doris seems to always buy these lovely penguin editions of everything. And I was like, okay, I've got to get this one. So this one has little, are they spools? I think they're some kind of sewing spool. Yeah. Are they weavers? I've got no idea. I need to find that out. Okay, so there's that one. Then I'm reading The Time Machine. This goes as my read for last decade. Is this my read for first decade? I think my Jane Eyre might be first decade. I did work it all out. I promise you I've got one for first decade, one for last decade, so that I'm covering all 5 challenges. This is The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I've never read any H.G. Wells. I don't really read science fiction or fantasy, so I need to get my act together. So I'm guessing you all kind of know the plot of The Time Machine, as it's been made into, or inspired many, many, many films. But again, I have very cunningly picked a tiny book because already, I mean, this is already getting to the point where I'm like, oh, okay, can I read that in a month? And then the last one I've picked is an extra. And I've got a few extras, you know, the typical ones that you'd expect on my shelves, because I do have a lot of Penguin classics. So there's a fair few Victorian ones up there. But I have picked Stevie Davis's Awakening as my extra. Now, and the reason I picked this, my edition of Jane Eyre has an introduction by Stevie Davis. She is a lecturer at Swansea University. I'm like a walking advert for Swansea. And she's amazing. She teaches creative writing. So I was never taught by her, as I didn't do a creative writing degree. But I've read some of her non-fiction work on the Brontes. And this is set in the Victorian period. It is Wiltshire in 1860, 1 year after Darwin's explosive publication of The Origin of the Species. Sisters Anna and Beatrice Pentecost awaken to a world shattered by science, radicalism and the stirrings of feminist rebellion. A world of charismatic religious movements, spiritualist seances, bitter loss and medical trauma. I mean, that just sounds awesome. So this is set in the Victorian period, but this is my other sort of unusual choice. And although I have this in hardback, this is out in paperback now. It's by Parthian Publishers. So I think you can probably find it on Amazon. You can certainly get it through Parthian Press. And yeah, I thought that would tie in really nicely, as I know Stevie Davis is such a big fan of the Brontes. And yeah, so that's my pile. Oh, jiggled the camera. That's my pile. We'll see how we go, and I'll get back to you. I'll be doing weekly reading vlogs, which I've never done, just to sort of keep you up to date on how I'm going. And if I by any chance fly through these, I will add a few extras. If you're doing anything for Victober, I would love to hear the books that you're reading. Even if they're sort of the typical ones like me, I still would really like to know, especially if you're rereading some classics. I think a reread is very different to a first time read. So I'm hoping to get more out of it, and I'd love to know if you're rereading Jane Eyre, and then maybe we can have chats in the comments. Okay, I'm going to go and make a start on dinner. I hope you're having a lovely day, and thank you for watching. Bye!